So our next page is going to be finding the median using the position formula. And so our position formula means it's the category where it's the first position, second position, and etc. And so what we will need to do for using that, we're going to use the 9 is going to be the number of our data set. So remember, we're going to have n plus 1 divided by 2 is going to tell me my position then. So in other words, if you look at the first position, we would have 1 plus 1 divided by 2 would give you 1. So if we're looking for the median, we're looking for it to be ranged. So we'll have a total of 9. So I'm going to go 9 plus 1 is going to be over 2. And then I'm going to also say then I'll have 10 over 2, which equals to 5, or the fifth position. So let's check that out. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's also going to be the position that will be in the middle. And so I would know that my fifth position would also equal then 28 for my median. The next one that we're looking at is we're going to have 5 employees, and then we also have an additional manager. So in other words, we have the salaries that are given annually plus the managers. And it says to find the median annual salary for all the 6 people. So again, check to see if you have them listed in from smallest to highest. And in this case, what we'll do is we'll find the middle number again. So if we're going to find the median, so we're going to look for 1, 2, 3. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions. So that means the 6 divided by 2 will be my third, 1, 2, 3. So it'll be this position and this position, because then I'll have the 2 at the end on the outsides. So I know in order to find my median, I'm going to have to take 21,500 plus the 22,600, and I need to average those together to find my median. So 11, 4, and then 4. And then I'm going to actually take this one and I'm going to divide it by 2 then to find out my average. So then that would be then 22,050. So that would be my median. The mean for the salary, again, you could either go to your computer, you can actually put those in your table again, or in this case, I'll just show you how to do it when we add them, because we're going to take the sum of all the salaries. And then we're going to also then divide it by the total number that we have. In this case, we have 6 different people. So in this case, I'll go ahead and I know I'm getting a low battery, so I have 19,700 plus the 2,400 plus 2,150 or 500, sorry, plus 22,600 plus 23,000. Plus then the last one, which would be the 95, 1, 2, 3. So I end up with a total number of salaries, which would be 202,200, and then we're going to divide it by 2. And so then I have then 101,100 would be then my answer for my salary. Now, the next category that we're going to talk about is mode. And I've always told, when I've taught it before, I said mode is the same as most, and it sounds like, in other words, you're looking for the one that has the most number occurring in your data set. And so in this case, if there's no data value that occurs most often, the set is a set that there's no mode. You can also have maybe two numbers that occurs the exact same number of times, and that makes it like you could have, if you had two different numbers that are both occurring the highest, it would be bimodal. So in this case, so if again, everyone is different, there's no mode. And in this case, on my data set on this problem, I look, I've got 7 and a 7, it repeats itself twice. No other number repeats itself, so I know that 7 is my mode. The mid-range, now again, I think probably when I've taught before, I always talked about range, and range is going to be the highest score minus the lowest score. But our mid-range is more of the average. So it's the average, the lowest score plus the highest score divided by 2. So we still look at those first 2 scores and we compare them. So the next one is find the mid-range. So the Newsweek magazine examined the factors affecting women's life, including justice and education. Use the 5 factors, and the magazine graded each of the 165 countries on a scale from 1 to 100. The 12 best to be women, 12 place base to be a woman, and 12 worst places to be a woman are shown below. Find the mid-range among the 12 best countries. And so again, what we'll do is we'll look to see where out of the 12, we need to have the highest score and the lowest score. And so if you look, 100 obviously is going to be my highest score. So now I'm going to go ahead and look to see where my lowest score would be. And they look like they're in order. So it'd be 87. So again, my answer will be then 100 or 87.2 is my lowest score plus my highest score of 100 divided by 2. So that actually is just going to be 187.2 divided by 2. See if I can catch. So 187.2 divided by 2 equals 93.6. Oh, I'm sorry. So I'll let you look at that real quick. But again, I just found my highest and my lowest, add them together and divided them by 2. My range is found by taking the highest value minus the lowest value. So in this case, Honolulu's hottest day is 89 and its coldest day was 61. The range of the temperatures would be then the highest minus the lowest, and that would be then 89 minus 61 or 28. When you look at the range, it says find the age range of the 4 oldest presidents. And so they have our ages listed. And so you'd look at the highest minus the lowest, and then you would find then the range. The last piece that we're going to look at is called standard deviation. And standard deviation is just talks about how far your data points are away from your mean. So it's found by the equation. And again, remember the sigma indicates sum. So we're going to take every one of the sum of the data pieces. So it's going to be our data piece minus the mean. And then we're going to take that expression squared and divide it by n minus 1, which is the total number in our data set. So what I've done, okay, is I've got, in this case, just 4 data pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and have you look at my Excel document again. So this is going to be a new problem, and I'm going to go ahead and just input this case. I'm going to input the ages of the 4 presidents. So I'm going to go 70, 69, 68, and then 65. And then what I'll need to do, because I'm going to find, I need to start off, I need to use the formula. I'm going to use the sum of, I'm going to have my X values minus my mean expression squared all over X or n minus 1, and then take the square root of it. So in this case, what I want to do is I want to start off by finding my mean. And so when I do that, I'm going to go ahead and use my Excel. So I'm going to say, I'm going to go ahead and find the sum. I could also find the average. So in this case, I could take 272 divided by 4, or I could go ahead and just tell it to do the average. So in this case, my average is going to be 68. Now notice I'm going to subtract then each one of my data pieces from my mean, which is 68. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and do a next column. I'm just going to go, I'm subtracting then this 70 minus then my average, which is 68. Now you can type in 68 or just use the cell if you already have that as your mean. And what's kind of nice is that we'll take then and subtract the 70 minus that. And I'm going to copy this and then apply it to each one of my cells below. See if I can do that. It doesn't like it. When I practiced it, it did fine. But in this case, I'm just going to go eat. Let me see if I can just go paste. Nope, it just pastes the 2. So I'm going to go 69 minus the average. And then on mine, when I did it without sharing with my Zoom, it asked me if I wanted just autofill, and I definitely did want it. I definitely would want to autofill. So keep in mind when you're doing yours, you'd want to go ahead and tell it to autofill so you don't have to do this. There, it's allowing me to do that. 68. Oh, look at that. Autofill suggestion. So finally it did. Well, then it didn't work. So 65 minus 68, then I have it. So that's going to be the subtraction of that. Remember, I'm going to square that now too. So on this one, I'm going to take all of these and I'm going to square them. So in mine, I think I can just go ahead and do caret 2. And then now it gives me the autofill suggestion. Dadgummit, I want that. So let me go. It's not a lot. I had it for a second. Oh, there it went. So it's autofilling there. Oops. Sorry, I wasn't expecting it to take this long. This one, it messed up I wanted to do 68 minus then the 68. There we go. And then the last one, I will take this one. I'm going to go equals caret 2. You know, on a smaller data set, it might be just as easy just to go ahead and put them into your calculator. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the sum of my data set. These are going to be the sum of my subtractions. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to divide this one by then. I'm going to say, I'm going to take this, I'm going to take my cell, my summation. I'm going to divide it by n minus 1, and I could just go ahead and put 3, or you can use the calculation. So my standard deviation on this kind would be then 4.6667. So using sometimes an Excel document can be to your advantage. I swear it worked better when I wasn't actually zooming. So if you want to grab your calculator, you should be able to do the same thing. Hope this helps.